there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today I'm here with Tristan Kuhn, one of my former students and another YouTuber. And we've got a lot of questions over the last few months about hostels, Southeast Asia, all kinds of stuff. And we haven't done a lot of stuff in Southeast Asia, and I'm not big into hostels right now, but my buddy Tristan is. So Tristan, can you say hi to everybody?
Yes, hey, how are you doing? My name's Tristan, as Mark said. Mark was a great professor, loved his class. Anyways, so...
He already passed the class, so we can't kiss about now.
So anyways, today we're going to be talking a little bit about hostel travels. I personally love traveling in hostels. I spent the majority of my last summer traveling in Southeast Asia, so we're going to be... So we're going to be letting you
know about the don'ts of hostels.
Yeah, so we're going to be letting you know a little bit about the don'ts of hostels.
All right, so now I know for me, I always feel like I might be the old man in the hostels. So I think that the first thing we need to talk about is the big don't overall for hostels is don't think hostels are just for like scroungy youth backpackers. They're really for everybody now, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, I totally agree. There's many different types of hostels. There's luxury hostels, there's nice kind of boutique hostels, but there's also the typical backpack traveler youth hostel that is good for... No, but absolutely, I think hostels are good for everyone. As long as you have a good personality, you're willing to meet new people, go and explore new cities, I think hostels are great no matter what your age is.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I know for me, like we've kind of done more hotels the last years, a lot of apartment rentals. Actually, you'll see a video we do together talking about different kind of places you can stay on his channel. It's down in the link below. You can go check it out. But the thing is what's cool is not, like you said, you get luxury, you got these things, but even in normal hostels, you'll have private rooms, you'll have the old like 20-person dorm rooms and stuff like that. You'll have the ones you remember hearing about, but now that's really cool is there's so many options out there for families, for singles, for couples, all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Now, the second don't we have for hostels is, as Tristan alluded to, don't be shy.
Yeah, so I think one of the best things about hostels is the wonderful social aspect they have. You know, there's so many people all kind of doing the same thing as you, just traveling, exploring, seeing a new city. So I'd say the worst thing you can do, the only bad thing you can do in a hostel is stay in your bed, just kind of hang out, not do much. Spend all the time you can in the common area in the mornings when you're getting breakfast with people. And then after that, you can go into the city, meet up with them. Hostels have lots of activities like pub crawls, bar crawls, walking tours, because pub crawls and bar crawls are the same thing.
So no, they're different. Totally different. Bar is totally different than the pub. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay.
But anyways, so so when you're traveling, go check those places out. So when you're traveling, go check those places out. Go travel with the hostel. Talk to the people there. Meet them, and oftentimes they'll also have great tips for what you should do in the city. Maybe things they saw the day before.
Yeah, and that's one of the best things. I know from back in my hosteling days, that was my favorite part of going to hostels. You would meet other travelers who may have just come from where you're going or where you're going to next. So one, you can meet like a travel buddy for the day to go see the sights. Also, you could be getting that first-hand information. Hey, what's going on in that town? Because, you know, when you look online, I mean, stuff changes, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And knowing that someone's just been there, you can learn so much, and it's cool having someone to bond with, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I love the people that I met when I was traveling. I get to keep up with them. I've met them I friended them on Snapchat, Instagram, so I get to see what they're doing, see where they're traveling to next, and it's just great to kind of keep up and meet with people that you see when you're traveling.
Yeah, it is cool. I mean, I still hang out with some of the guys that I met back in my day. It's kind of cool to see. Now, next don't we have for you is don't forget to do your research, because like Tristan said, there's so many different hostels that are out there that you really didn't know. Is it a party hostel? Is it a history hostel? Is it one that closes at 8 o'clock at night or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's so many different types of hostels out there. Most of the time I stay in personally party hostels, youth hostels, or just cheap hostels. However, there are those luxury hostels, those boutique ones. Some of the coolest ones I want to stay at, and definitely probably the next time I travel, is these event hostels. So they're places where the hostel's right at like the bottom of a ski resort or like by the beach, and everyone's staying there is doing the same activity, like going surfing. There's family hostels that you can stay at. So the options are out there for everyone, no matter what you're looking for.
Yeah, and the thing is, you really got to read those reviews. And TripAdvisor is always good because you get a lot of different people on there, but those reviews can be kind of skewed by anybody writing what they can. If you can go to like a Bookings or something like that, where only people that actually stayed there, that paid to stay there, can write the reviews, that can help you out. I know when I was in Switzerland back in the day with the hostels in Interlaken, it's all geared towards like you go stay at this one hostel just to make sure you go do all the trips, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's a great thing about it.
My favorite personally, I use is Hostel World. So Hostel World is a website. Yeah. You can book any hostel in the world there pretty much, and then on top of that, you can see all the reviews that people left. They rank all the hostels based upon, there's like 7 different categories. So it's been that's where I go for my hostel information. So the fourth don't when traveling in hostels is don't be a jerk.
Yep, don't be a jerk. And there's a lot of jerk things that people do in hostels. We'll just go back and forth. I'll let you go first.
Throwing your stuff all over the ground.
Or using someone else's bed as your staging area or packing area.
Yes, and hanging a wet towel over someone else's bed always happens.
Jerk move. Then there's my personal favorite, turning the lights on at 4 o'clock in the morning when you come home drunk.
Yes, that, and on top of that, also just being incredibly loud when you're, just being incredibly loud at night.
Mm-hmm. Or there's also the packing for your morning flight at 5 a.m.
Yep, that's one. One that's really annoying is people who will be on their phones and they're playing, like, they'll have like lights flashing on their phones. I don't know like why, but I've had that experience before.
Or they'll be on their phones or listening to music or watching a movie with their iPads or something like that, but with no headphones.
Yes.
And so it's 3 o'clock in the morning and they're watching Game of Thrones. You're like, dude, I don't want to know the end, but I also want to sleep. What are you doing?
Yes, so those are all different things. And probably the ultimate one of all, I would say, is don't hook up in a hostel bed when there's other people around. Just not appropriate. There's people around. Don't do that. Don't be that person.
There's the romance, like get the private room maybe.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of little things that people do that can be jerky, and we'll talk about like the bathrooms later because there's a whole level of jerkiness with that. And like one of the big things I was like, a lot of it's just being messy. Like if you're going to be in the bathrooms or if you're going to be doing the kitchen stuff, don't leave a mess around, right? I mean, clean up after yourself because no one else is going to do it, and that could be a bad thing. So, but the biggest thing is don't be a
jerk.
That's right. All right, now our fifth don't deals with your packing. Don't forget the little things. Like I know most people remember, I got to bring my charger, but one thing you need to know is you don't expect to have a lot of plugs when you're in a hostel, so make sure you have a plug that you can actually plug multiple things into. I mean, that's one thing I always take with me. What's some other stuff?
Also, when you're in a hostel, if you're in the top bunk, oftentimes the port is at the bottom, so you need a long phone charger. I'd recommend like 2 meters, 3 meters, like 6 to 10 feet.
It changes your life when you get one, by the way, because if you go from that short like Samsung iPhone one to like this one, you're like, oh my goodness, I can play with my phone while I'm in bed and I can roll over and do stuff, right?
Yes,
it's great.
Yeah.
What are some other stuff? I know for me, one thing is when I see people walking around with bare feet in the hostels, flip-flops for the bathroom.
Yeah, flip-flops. A lot of people wear flip-flops to the bathroom. A lock to lock your stuff up. A lot of people don't realize this, but pretty much almost every hostel is locked. I've never been to a hostel without locks. However, they don't always they don't always provide you with a lock. I would say most don't. So bring your own lock so you can lock your stuff up. Not everyone in the hostel is trustworthy.
Yeah, but we'll go with that one next. But we got to give some more stuff we're going to put in there. No worries, man. Right. That's like we get so excited. It's just the way it is. Can you tell we're both very high energy guys?
Yes.
I appreciate that. So some other little things I would say to bring. Don't expect them always to have I'll talk about the freebies later, but maybe like shampoo and stuff like that, or a towel. Like you want to bring some of those things with you, your toiletries and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a microfiber towel is like one of the best things to bring. It's a little towel. It folds up about this big and it can dry like your entire body off. Works really well. Also, when I travel a 3-in-1. It's like shampoo, conditioner, body wash all in one, so you don't need a bunch of different
like every
things.
Guy.
Yeah,
it's all
it's all the same, right? It's all soap.
That's right. I feel clean. I smell clean. Why not?
Exactly.
There's a couple other things. So we were talking about the jerk moves, like the people being loud and turning on the lights. So maybe like if you want to go that far, if you're on your plane flying in, just take the earplugs they give you. So you get some earplugs and maybe an eye mask, maybe if you have anything like that, and a good pair of headphones, because everyone will appreciate you then.
Yeah. And one last bonus tip is there's a stuff called nil odor that I really wish I had when I was traveling. It is super helpful. So pretty much it's like you just drop a couple drops on it on something. There's so many stinky shoes in hostel. Put 2 drops on it and it kills all smell. So highly recommend you bring some nil odor.
And that is a perfect lead into our next don't is don't be that stinky traveler. We all know the stinky traveler, right?
All know the stinky traveler.
Yeah.
I was staying in a hostel with someone he was there for like 2 weeks. I mean, I was working there for a month. He was there for 2 weeks, and I don't think he ever showered. I mean, there was like flies in his beard. It was just,
I think I met the same guy. So
okay, that's good.
It's the same guy.
There's one at every hostel. So yeah, just make sure to shower while you're at hostels.
Yeah, shower. But also, a lot of them will have places to wash your clothes and stuff like too. Take that opportunity to get cleaned up and all this kind of stuff, because you're not going to meet anybody. People aren't going to want to hang out with you. They're not going to want to go see the city with you if you stink, okay? So there's some stuff you need to know. Now, going back to what Tristan was talking about with the locks, I want to say this. Don't think that everybody at the hostel is looking out for you.
Yeah.
Or is everyone at the hostel as nice as they seem, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I've never met someone who I would be like, oh, they're probably going to steal from me. But I know it happens all the time. So that's why I always lock my stuff up. Most importantly, I would say my passport, laptop, and I guess that's it mainly.
Yeah.
But
And like you said, make sure you're bringing multiple locks. And actually what I used to do is I would lock the lock. They give you the locker. So I would lock with my own lock, the locker, but also my bag inside. I would lock that as well. And even if I was going to the shower, I still lock my stuff up, because if you got a room for 16 people and the doors are open, you never know who's going to walk by and go, oh, look, that looks nice. Because honestly, the only time there's only two times I've had stuff stolen out of my hotel rooms or hostels in 20 years of travel. And one was at a hostel, and I didn't put my stuff away when I went to the shower, and there's only like 5 people at the hostel at the time, so you do need to be careful. So take care when you are there. Also, I think another one to mention is if you're going to be drinking at the hostel and stuff like that, do be careful, because not everyone is as nice as us.
Yeah.
So do be careful with that. So we're not trying to pick on the stinky travelers, okay, but we think it's important that you know that you don't forget shower etiquette when you stay at hostels, right?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I know that happened to me is like I left my shampoo in the shower once, went to my room and came back and it was gone.
Yeah, don't steal people's shampoo and soap. I mean, they're washing their body with it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to bring it. It's something that, like that. Not hostels don't provide things like towels and shampoo, so that's something that you have to bring in. It's yours. It's not for. So yeah, don't take that from other people.
And another thing I had issues with when I was in hostels, because there's a limited number of showers and shower stalls. Mm-hmm. If you're one of those 30-minute shower people, everyone's going to hate you. So limit your time in the shower kind of stuff, so you can get out and get changed and other people can get through. Also, we talked about the towels. Don't think everybody wants to see your junk just dangling around and stuff like that, okay?
Especially because a lot of, at least where I stayed, there's guys and girls in the same bathroom in the same showers. It's like a unisex bathroom, so it's not just guys.
It's
not your football locker room.
Yeah, so make sure you can cover yourself up and stuff like that.
So for our next don't pick the wrong type of room. So as Mark was saying earlier, there's now a lot of private rooms, but there's also not all common rooms are the same. So there's unisex rooms where you can just be with people of the same sex, and then there's also rooms that have 6 beds, or I've seen down as little as 4 beds, 6, 8, 12. I've slept in a room with 22 people in it, and I've seen a room on Hostel World that had 36 people in it. So
going back to it kind of goes to that research thing, but all these rooms are going to be different, so don't get the wrong one, because you're like, I don't know if I want to sleep with 20 snoring people. Maybe pay a little bit extra to get the 4. I mean, you don't have to get the private room, but maybe a 4 or 6 can make a big difference for you, okay? And
also, if you're traveling with a group, you can get a room with like everyone in your group, so you can, with 6 people can all be in a room. Personally, I recommend 8. I feel like there's enough people you can meet them, kind of hang out, but it's not like 20 where it's just like there's always people moving around. When there's 20 people, it's not going to be a quiet hour in the night, pretty much. There's always people moving.
So true. And then I know we're getting long on time, so our last don't for you is don't forget the clock. Look, hostels have different times in terms of checkout times, in terms of when you can come in, lockout times, curfews, all kinds of stuff. Now, I know like curfews aren't as popular as they used to be back in the day, but some hostels, especially some family hostels, might have a curfew that says you got to be in by 10, and they lock the doors, and you're not getting in after that. Other ones might have it where they're locked, like, I don't know, it wouldn't be locked down, but they're like, you're locked out from like maybe like 10 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. So if you think you're going to have like your lie around in the open room, you might not have it. Now, you worked at a hostel. What's probably the biggest time thing you want to tell about?
I would say the biggest thing is make sure you wake up for checkout time. So like many hotels, hostel checkout time is often 11 a.m. and a lot of people go drinking before they leave, and they might not wake up in the morning. So wake up, get yourself up, or else people like me, volunteers at the hostel, have to come and wake you up, get you to pack your stuff. So yeah, get up.
Let's hear that. So I hope this helps you know a bit more about what you don't do when you go to a hostel. I want to thank Tristan. Thank you so much, buddy. Tell them where they can find you. Tell them where they can find you.
So I have my own YouTube channel. It's called Tristan Kuhn. It'll be linked in the description below, and me and Mark are going to be doing a video over there talking about all the different places you can stay and what type of areas, like accommodations, are best for you and your travel style.
Yep, and also they probably see a button of his face somewhere around here.
Yeah.
So you can click on there to subscribe, and we'll have the other video on here. You can click on the link. If it's not showing up because your device, go down in the description. It'll be in there. And we'll say bye and have a great time traveling.